Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shelly. I am a third grade teacher in Northern California, and today we're just going to teach. I'm going to take you through a normal day in third grade. It's a Tuesday. I don't know if we have a ton of crazy stuff going on, but there are definitely some things I want to share. It's been a while since our classroom setup series, and I just kind of want to let you know how the year's going and walk you through where we are currently at in September in third grade. So let's jump right in. All right, so as always, I'll just kind of walk you through our schedule. We always start our day with a morning meeting. I don't think I can ever let that go regardless of what I teach. Then we are getting into math. We started math centers last week, so I'll show you what we're doing for that. Then we have recess. My ELA block is phonics, whole group, and that's it for this chunk. And then we do our writing block and centers. I'm doing this totally differently, and I actually have a video explaining that. That's probably going to go up after this. Then we are working on science. We are doing force and motion right now. Oh, we actually don't have music today. We don't have a prep today, so I take the kids out for our own PE. We're doing some iReady testing, and I'm actually going to have the kids doing something else if they're finished, packing up and dismissal. So it's currently 8:10, and the kids come at 8:55. My room's a little bit of a mess. I already set up my math centers because that's the first thing that we do. So let me start by kind of showing you how I run my math centers. So I just realized my actual board has all the kids' names on it, so I can't show you. If you've been here for a while, I do it the exact same way I did it in second grade. So we do centers on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So essentially the kids are in groups, and they will rotate through each color on one of the days. So for example, let's say Freddie is in this group today, so he will go to my math game, then he will go to Lexia, and then he will go to Math Adventure on Tuesday, and then on Thursday he will do Splash Learn, Mrs. Coates, and Fact Fluency. So I see all the kids once a week here. So in terms of what they do at each center, so for math game, I found a pack on Teachers Pay Teachers. I will link it down below. And I set up the math game here, and then I have 2 volunteers that come in and help with math centers. So one of the parents runs the game. And then for Fact Fluency, I also bought a pack on Teachers Pay Teachers of Fact Fluency games, but since we're hitting multiplication super hard, right now they are practicing like whatever fact they are on. And I have little timers in there, so they're just practicing that. When they come back to my table, it's kind of whatever we're working on. It's differentiated instruction based on the group, whatever they need, obviously. We're working on multiplication properties right now, like associative, distributive, and commutative, and that's really hard for kids. It's a lot of big vocab, so we're playing a little matching game with that. And then I have 2 tech centers, one each day. So I have Lexia, and then I have Splash Learn. However, this week, I think we're just going to be doing iReady because I still have half my class that is working on iReady. And I have something fun that I have been doing for early finishers that I want to show you. Because I feel like as teachers, we often struggle with what the kids should do when they're finished, but still keep them like engaged and enriched and learning. So I have an awesome solution, and I want to thank KiwiCo for sponsoring this video because I'm really stoked about it. Let me show you. I guess before I show you the crate, I should tell you a little bit about what they are. Sorry, I got a little bit excited. So KiwiCo is a crate service, and they have different crates designed for specific age groups. The one I'm going to share with you right now is for 9 and up because I have third graders. I also got a couple for my own kids that I will show you in just a second. But essentially, they are STEM engineered hands-on activities for kids. They're super engaging, super fun. My kids have been loving them. Like I said, as an early finisher, it gets them motivated to actually like get their work done. This one that I have right here is new, and I want to show you what it is because I'm actually really interested to see how the kids go about this one. I also just like that they're a little bit of a challenge, and it really helps with their collaboration. And okay, let me just show you. So this one is the Tinker Crate. Like I said, they have several different crates, different themes for different ages. So for this one, they're building a domino machine. So let me take out the parts so you can see. So here are the dominoes. So the crate comes with a little pamphlet that explains the activity. So they're building a structure to knock down a bunch of dominoes. And in addition, it comes with directions. This is what I have personally really loved about these crates. This is a life skill. not only do you need to read directions, but you have to work together to accomplish a task. So this is the one that they're gonna have the option to do as an early finisher today, and I cannot wait to see how it turns out. So the crates are obviously amazing for us teachers because we wanna incorporate STEM in a fun and enriching way as often as we can, but it's also really good for my moms who are stay at home or who just wanna give something extra for your kiddos. So I have some for my boys that I wanna show you. These also came at a perfect time because daycare closed for 2 weeks, so my in-laws and parents are watching the boys. And I'm really excited to get these in their hands. So if you don't know, I have a barely 2-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. So I have the Panda Crate, which actually comes every other month, but that's okay, which is geared more towards my 2-year-old. And then I got the Koala Crate, which is 3 and up. So let me show you what's inside these ones. So the one for my 2-year-old, which honestly my 3-year-old will also love, is a color lab set. So it looks like they get to do some experiments playing with color. How fun is this? I think my mother-in-law is gonna be the one to manhandle this one because that's awesome. Then this one I'm super stoked about because we actually just went camping last weekend. So my 3-year-old gets to like pack for a camping trip. So it comes with a little pack and then different items that he needs to go camping. I just die. I can't wait for him to get his hands on this one. Obviously, you can tell I'm really excited about it, both as a teacher and a mom. And of course, I have a code for you. KiwiCo gave me a 50% off your first month. So if you are interested, I will have everything linked down below. You get to use my code Early Adventures for that special offer. It is definitely worth checking out and honestly 100% worth subscribing if you're a teacher or a mom. So I digress. Let's move on. Okay, so moving on, our next chunk of time is ELA. I'm doing this so much differently this year. And I think my next vlog, I go more into how I'm running it. However, we are currently in Unit 2 of Benchmark. That's the curriculum we use at my district. And I used it when I first started teaching and then I ditched it. And now I've picked it back up because I have found Toluca over at Markers and Minions. I will link her whole TPT story here because it has saved my life. And I found ways to make it more engaging, more interesting, thanks to her. So Unit 2 is all about like fables and folk tales, way more exciting than Unit 1, which was like government and nonfiction, which I'm not knocking on nonfiction. I love nonfiction, but to start a year with something dry, kind of like government, not ideal. Anyway, so I introduced the unit yesterday with this anchor chart. So we're talking all about characters, traits, how their motives lead to actions, actions to consequences. And when I taught this, we used like Moana and other movies because it's engaging for them and it's stories that we all know. Challenges, lessons, and solutions. And then so for writing, we're actually writing our fables, or we will be writing our own fables. So yesterday we started writing our own fable together, very guided. Like I gave them 4 characters to choose from, 3 settings. I'll show you that when we get to writing later on. But that is where we are for ELA. I actually have to look and see exactly what I'm teaching today. She even pre-plans out units. So that's amazing, especially because I'm going on maternity leave in December. So my whole ELA is planned thanks to her. That's awesome. Okay. I'm going to set you down for like 2 seconds to figure out all the things that I need to prep for ELA, and then I will show you what we're doing. So it's already lunchtime. I wanted to show you what we were going to do for ELA before we did it. But since we already did it, I will just show you anyway. So our benchmark curriculum comes with readers. I always have one that I use to teach and one that I have like as a key. So I do everything ahead of time in this one so I can reference it, and it just saves me a ton of time. So we read 2 fables, found the main events, and then summarized. And then Markers and Minions has these close reading companions, so it takes the lesson and just puts it in a way more kid-friendly way. So for the second story, we found the main events, we wrote a summary, and then she includes questions that match the assessment at the bottom, which I love because then when the kids get to the assessment, they actually recognize the questions. So that's what we did for our ELA chunk. And then we went outside for some PE, and then after lunch, we are going to continue writing our fables and do centers. Now, I mentioned I do centers very differently and I go in depth in a future video, but long story short, I only see 1 group a day. So I take one of my groups and I see them for 30 minutes, and I have been loving this because we get to dive really deep. My lower group I see twice a week for obvious reasons. Now, last week we took our first reading assessment and the kids bombed it. It was informational. So today or this week with all my groups, we're going back through the assessment and I'm going to walk them through. That's just what we need at this point in the year, and that's okay. So that is after lunch, and then we are going to do science. Our school uses Twig. I don't love it for third grade, so I've been using Mystery Science, and it has them building bridges. So I need to spend my lunch right now gathering all those materials because I have no idea what I need. So that's what's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then show you what they're gonna do. I'm gonna try and get a little bit of footage of them building bridges. And then we have a birthday at the end of the day, and then we go home. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm gonna eat, and then we'll touch base about the bridges. Okay, so the day's over. I wasn't able to film the bridges. That's okay. So my classroom hasn't had AC forever. I'm dying. I'm gonna show you the state of my room at the end of the day. Normally, this year I've been staying a little bit later just to like pick up and walk into a clean classroom, but daycare has been closed like I mentioned, so I gotta get home to my kiddos. So this is the state that I'm leaving it in. Not horrible. My desk's a little bit of a hot mess, but that's okay. I've been getting here early to compensate, so that's fine. So they cleaned up after the bridges. The bridges went really well. They were only allowed to use paper. So yeah, actually not so bad now that I look at it. So that is a pretty typical day in our week. After science, we had a birthday today. So we had a little bit less time for bridges, but it worked out. So that is a very, very typical day in third grade. If you enjoy these types of videos, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are not already, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, go ahead and do that now at Early Adventures. And other than that, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.